Hello, everybody, and welcome to, I think we're like night 3 of amazing LifeWave training. So thank you everyone who came for the show. And I have a action-packed agenda tonight to teach everyone, but I want to start with Q&A. And since you guys are here, if you have any questions at all about LifeWave, I am very, very glad to answer those now, including anything about your business with sharing and selling the patches, or anything about how the patches work or patch placement, just anything on your mind. I'm glad to answer your questions. And if not, I will share myself about the different patches. I wanted to start out talking about what each patch does and patch placement. But like I said, I'll start with questions. So if you have any, Scott, go for it.
No, I was putting my thumb up because I like what you're going to talk about.
Oh, okay. Okay. Very good. So any questions from anybody about patches or patch placement? So, okay. So I'm going to show you Gracie. There's Gracie. She is on the notes about patch placement. So let me get her. Hold on. Yeah, that's pretty common. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to briefly describe, well, not briefly, I want to spend some time describing what each patch does and patch placement, because that way, when you have people ask you questions about what patch is best for what, then you have some sound answers. Now, let me tell you where this came from. So, first of all, I will say we do not treat, diagnose, or cure any illness. The FDA requires us to say that. And so what I'm about ready to share with you is based on clinical studies, and it's based on testimonies, and it's based on practitioner comments. I've attended a bazillion hours of training in the past year and a half since I've been with LifeWave, and I've just taken notes on what everyone says. So practitioner comments, and then different videos that the inventor David Schmidt has given over time. So that's where this comes from. Just so we all know, the X39, just bottom line, it does it all. So some people, that is what they can afford, and they can't afford anymore. And so that is fine. And no matter what a person has, the X39 will work. And the reason why is, this is a compliant way to say this, the X39 and the Celergize enhance and our stem cells. And our stem cells at conception, that's what made us, that very first stem cell. And that's what made it divided, it separated, it made the rest of us. Our stem cells don't need a diagnosis. That was something from Western medicine to bill insurance companies. So if someone says, will it do this? Will it help with fill in the blank? Can it work for fill in the blank? The answer is yes, 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 because stem cells made us and they repair us. It's just most of us are used to a Western, um, I have to watch myself. I usually call it the unhealthcare system. So most of us are used to a Western model. And this is the truther lane coming out here. We're used to a Western model, and they don't teach about stem cells because I don't think they know anything about it, frankly. But that's at a minimum. And the reason why is our patch technology, it generates GHKCU copper peptide. And if you do any research, we have a website called copperpeptidebreakthrough.com, and it will tell you that GHKCU copper peptide creates stem cells, activates stem cells. You can also go to nih.gov, that stands for National Institute of Health, nih.gov, and look up GHKCU copper peptides, and you'll see that they enhance, create, activate stem cells. So at a minimum, if they say, what do I buy for what condition? X39, X39, X39. Now, we don't get to tell our bodies, fix this in priority order. That's not how, it's not like a McDonald's order. So we don't get to do that. Our stem cells go in and they do a damage assessment inside your body. And they decide this is going to harm her the worst first, or him. And then they go to work on it. And you may or may not feel it. 10% of the people are one patch wonders, like a McDonald's fix. 30%, 70% of the people feel something, a little bit more energy, a little bit better sleep, a little bit better mood. 30% feel nothing. And that 30% normally have more serious conditions going on, and our stem cells would rather fix that than make someone a bit more positive or have a bit more energy. So these are all, praise God, things, because that's exactly what we want. So let me go to the X49. Now, there are LifeWave sells 10 patches, and two of them start with an X, and one is the X39 and one is the X49. Both of those activate our stem cells. And they're considered, the X39 and X49 are considered sister cells. Now, they activate a copper peptide called AHKCU. Same thing though. It activates, enhances our stem cells. So this is what the X49 will do, if people are wondering. It promotes performance. So any athletic performance, and by athletic, I'm including if you like to walk a lot, if you like to garden, any physical activity, you will find it's much, much easier. It increases your muscles. And there are testimonies of people who just wear it and in a month or two have 8 pounds of muscle without even trying. They don't do anything. Now, muscle is medicine. And the problem when people start, when you hit 60, your doctor starts asking, all those fall questions. You'll see those posters in doctors' offices. The reason why is most people 60 and over, for various reasons, they stop exercising and working out, they lose their muscle. And if you don't have muscle, you're going to fall. So muscle is medicine. And that's what this does. It also, fat loss. When you work out, so whether you're gardening or lifting weights or whatever, playing with the grandchildren, I've heard that's a workout. I know my little nieces and nephews, it's a workout. And so you may be sore normally after that, all the bending, squatting, sitting, you won't be. It increases bone density. So it helps with it, and you won't hear us say diagnoses because that's part of being in compliance, but we all know what bone density helps. It helps with energy, all things heart. Matter of fact, there was a recent study on a YouTube that David Schmidt, the inventor, was talking about, and there's a scientist that took, I don't know, 20, 30 people who had really bad heart conditions, put them on the patch, and within like minutes, all of his equipment was showing that their heart had already really improved. I heard a testimony of a gentleman in his 80s that went to his doctor, and the doctor came in and he had terrible heart problems before the patches. And the doctor said, and he'd been on the patches 5 years. The doctor said, I don't know what you're doing, but you have the heart of a 40-year-old. So X49, any cognitive brain issues. When you use the X39 and the X49 together, it's a Faraday cage. So there are patch placement. If you put the X39 in the back of your neck at the C7, which you can Google where that's at, but it's the bone that sticks out. And then if you put the X49 2 inches below your belly button, you are now a human Faraday cage. So if you're worried about Wi-Fi, 5G, radiation, all the environmental things, you are now protected. Which brings me to patch placement in general, while that came up. Every time you order a patch, it will come with a little booklet that has patch placement. And where that came from is whenever David Schmidt did the clinical studies, that's where he put the patches. So whenever he started selling them, the FDA required him to only put those places to put the patches on, do the clinical studies. Now, a heads up on this, LifeWave was not even required to do one clinical study. They didn't have to do any clinical studies. And the reason why is only pharmaceutical drug companies have to do drug studies, and they're required to have thousands and thousands and thousands of people. We're considered a wellness product on purpose. And so and because of that reason, clinical studies aren't needed, but our inventor's a scientist. So he's done many, many, many clinical studies on this. And so that's the patch placement guide. Now, you'll hear over time, bottom line, how if I could bottom line patch placement, you can put them anywhere, absolutely anywhere on your body. I recommend put them where the problem is. So if you're having lower back pain, stick your patch there. If you're having, there was a teenager with a kidney stone recently, and there's a technique called wallpapering, where when you're really in trouble, you take every patch you've got, every type that you have, the X39, the X49, the Eon, whatever you've got, and you put it all over the problem and start watching things happen. If you have a tooth infection, put your patches there. I've done that before. If you, when I have anxiety, or I think I might be, I might, put a patch on my heart. If, if I'm having a stomach pain or hip pain or back pain, I mean, I put the patch where the pain is or the problem is. And if you're really in trouble, wallpaper in that area. And the only other um, recommendations would be it for pain management. And I talk about this often, but we have two patches specifically for pain, the X39 and the Ice Wave. The Ice Wave is considered our pain patch, and there are instructions with how to use that, and good videos. We have a video, our team, we're the Live Younger team, and it's at liveyoungerproducts.com. And it has two beautiful videos on patch placement for the Ice Wave patch, and very effective patch. The other pain patch is the X39, and you do pancake stacking. So wherever you have the pain, and I mean, if you're going about your day, and my famous recent story is I was going about my day and I dropped a 1 pound, 4 ounce bottle of mustard on a toe. And on the 10-point pain scale, it was like at 1,000,000. I was sure I broke it. And I ripped the X39 off the back of my neck, put it on the toe, and the pain instantly went to zero. So just remember that. And now sometimes you can stack up to 3 patches. So if that wouldn't have brought it, so it may have brought it down to where it was manageable. And maybe I'd be satisfied there. But if it didn't bring it down to where I was satisfied, I was ready to put a second X39 like a pancake right on top of it. And then if that didn't satisfy me, I was ready to put a third X39. And you can do that with any patch. You can wear multiple. So I had a lower back injury from running too fast. I knew better, but I did anyway. So right now, as I'm sitting here, I have stacked like a pancake on my S1 nerve, 3X39s and 3 Eons. The Eons are anti-inflammatory, and I have inflammation because I hurt my back. But, I'm still rocking and rolling. I'm not running because that wouldn't work. But you can put, stack up to, or put it around an injury, stack it like a pancake. Use your intuition on this, because a lot of times, if you just, ask the Lord or whoever you ask in your times of prayer, what are the best places? So that's in general patch placement. So the X49, teeth, nerve regeneration. When you use it with the carnosine patch, it increases your stamina 180%. So whenever I'm running and lifting, I wear both of those. So the glutathione, let me tell you what that is. Glutathione is an immune system booster. The X39 will increase your glutathione by 30%. It's a detox. So some people who start glutathione, 20% of the people I help, they detox in the first week or two. That's a good thing, because that means your body's full of toxins and you want those things out. And that's because the X39 contains 30% glutathione. The glutathione, that patch itself, it will increase your glutathione 300%. So just get ready. Now, I wear the glutathione practically every day. And the reason why is it protects from other people's colds and flus. And it also, so I'm just waving at people who are entering. And it also, whenever I'm out running, the chemtrails, fires that are around in different states will blow over Missouri. bad air quality, and I'll put the glutathione right here. Choked myself right here in the hole in my neck, and that protects me. And then if I'm sick, or the air quality is really bad, because when they did the fog chemical attacks, my filters, I've lived in my house for 14 years, they're always white, even though I change them every quarter, they were black. And that was from the fog attacks. So to get that stuff out of my lungs, I would use the energy patch. There's a little indent on your, I think this is lung point one. There are indents here. And the energy patch is a two-patch system. And it does what it says it's going to do, which it gives us extra energy. But whenever I'm sick or something's wrong, I will put it here and it moves it out faster. So that's what I do when I'm outside running, because whatever I'm inhaling, I want it out of my body as fast as possible. When I'm sick, I'll do that. Now, some people in the energy patches, their patch placement guide, I really like those different patch placements. Most people love this, especially on the bottom of their feet. So the general concept is, the patches have, one is brown and one is white. And just remember, white on right. So I'll put the white on the right side of my body, which probably looks like maybe the left side, you guys, I don't know. And then, so white on right, and then the tan or the brown on the left. So I jumped ahead there with the energy patch. And the energy patch, you will lose 500 calories a day when you wear that without trying. So just saying that too. So back to your glutathione. It helps with, let me see how I can say this. Insulin. People will call this angry cells, C cells. It reduces those. It helps with developmental issues with children that we're seeing a lot of that none of us are pleased with. It helps with that. And people who have trouble with maybe tremors and that sort of an issue, it's for that also. It's really helpful for your teeth. And if someone has problems with their knees, if you put the glutathione on the outside of the knee and the eon on the inside of the knee, it will grow cartilage. So a lot of people have been able to avoid knee surgeries. It's glutathione on the outside of the knee and eon on the inside of the knee, and that's AEON. And again, not diagnosing, treating, or curing. I'm just sharing something that David Schmidt said, the inventor, on a video that I saw. And we have a lot of testimonies where people have avoided surgery from that. So it also reduces oxidative stress, which are those free radicals, those angry C cells, and again, the things that might cause the tremors or the disorientation or the loss of memory. And then the carnosine is another patch. It's all things brain, healthy brain, improves brain fog, anything brain memory, great for the heart, great for the eyes. So we have people who, gosh, these eye testimonies. What's even amazing too is I heard a testimony. There was a woman who got on the patches because we can't pick the fix. Our body's going to heal us. I can't use the word heal. Repair. You guys are learning compliance terminology as we go. They're going to repair us in priority order. So there was a woman in her, I think 70s or 80s on the patches, and she'd been blind for 40 years. And one day she woke up and she could see. And she'd been on the patches for 5 years, and wasn't even thinking about that. We've had people who've been deaf say the same thing, for years. And, one woman that's a friend of mine for 30 years and had been on the patches for 5 years and woke up one day. And again, not even on their radar or a thought that was going to happen, but it did. So when it comes to eyes or ears, what I recommend with the carnosine is if you have we have people that are getting, and I can't imagine this, and God bless you all that have to do this, but they get shots in their eyes. I can't imagine watching that come towards you. and they no longer have to do that after being on the patches, a year or two, or the testimonies. But what I recommend is if you have eye problems, you can put the carnosine patch on the temple, or you can wear a sleep mask and put the patches directly on the eye on the sleep mask. The and you can do that for one eye or for both eyes. And always, 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 when I say any of these patches, I'm thinking everyone knows it's a given you're on the X39, because this doesn't. Did you have a question, Jean? Do you want to unmute? Do you know? No, you don't want to unmute. Okay, don't unmute. Okay. Um, so with the so it's always a given that people are on the X39, because you have to have that stem cell activation in order for everything else to work too. So okay, carnosine, your organs, athletic performance, detoxes the brain from aluminum, aids in wound healing. As a matter of fact, once you get on the patches have been shown in clinical studies to um, heal wounds 50% faster than without it. So you'll notice the longer you're on the patches, it's like compound interest in a bank. It just gets better and better and better and better. And then people who have those tingly feet and heavy legs, they'll place these on their heels, and they seem to get recovery from that. So then the Eon patch, and I've mentioned this before, that's AEON, and that is a prevention patch for the angry cells, and it helps with sex hormones. It's an anti-anxiety, anti-stress patch. So I have shared that the X39 and the Eon decreased my PTSD and anxiety by 70% within the first month that I had them on. And so far, you can't make any guarantees, of course, but so far, 100% of the people that I've helped with that issue have seen relief, at least some in the first month. And for those with that issue, some is huge. Um, so it clears up your mind. People will talk about clarity of thought. And the other big thing it does is it helps with inflammation, which is why I've got 3 on that joint right now as we speak. I've got them stacked. I've got 3 X39s and 3 Eons because I'm in trouble. And this is why I like to have extra sleeves of patches, because I don't want to have anything. I mean, I'm a stalker and a prepper too. Probably most people listening are. And I make sure I have at least 3 months of supplies of everything. So when I got on the patches, it was no different with the patches. And I know many of you too do that if it's within your budget, of course. But thankfully I have those handy, for such a time as this. And it really helps. And what I've been doing, because the pain's around the clock, I'll do the X39 and the Eon in the day and the Ice Wave at night so I can sleep. And last night the pain was bad enough. I mean, the Ice Wave helped a ton, but it was still kind of bad. So I took a sleep patch and I was out in 5 minutes, pain or no pain. It was marvelous. I loved it. Okay, so Eon, it calms you down, estrogen. So when you use the SP6 is another patch, letter S, the word Sam, Paul, and the number 6, and Eon, it helps with that. But the Eon, any unexpected pain, it will help with. And some of the practitioners give a tip with pain before you put a patch on to rub it where the pain is. And that seems to help. And we have tons of testimonies that people who rub the Eon over welts or blood clots, they go away like really quick. So that's important. I've already mentioned the energy enhancer. So yeah, so I mentioned that. Ice Wave is pain. The SP6 patch, just think in general, hormones. Just think that in general, that's good for hormones. It's also an appetite suppressor. It also helps with addictions. And it helps with any organ. So think of all of your organs, and if there's a problem with any organ, this is what you want, or any hormonal problem, this is what you want. Um, it also helps the angry cells, hot flashes, decreases cholesterol, which, yeah, so those are and again, if you could list every hormone and every organ, I mean, I would, but just think in terms of that. And then the silent nights, I used to think I slept good. I did not. I did not know what deep sleep was until the silent night patch. So, so you're not supposed to feel groggy the next day. I did. And what you'll find is, and it's when your body is not used to good stuff, like that these patches bring, and you start a patch, sometimes your body gets overwhelmed. It can't handle all the goodness. So you have to back up. That happens like people who were fragile, maybe in their 80s, 90s. I recommend just start with the X39 period and see how they feel. Most can tolerate it, but for some, by the time when someone hits 60, they have no stem cells, period, the end. That's why you keep getting hurt and just go downhill until the end because you have nothing there to repair. And so by the time someone who's in their 80s or 90s gets their first hit of stem cells, it can be, the body can just be like, wow, it's just a flood of like too much goodness. And so they can't handle it. Just they can tell for different reasons it's too much, so that they know it. So then what you do is just back it off and maybe start them 2 hours a day, and then maybe 3 hours a day, and just slowly increase it. So that's what happened to me with the sleep patch. It was too much. I thought I was sleeping good. I was not used to deep sleep, and so I could not come out of it. So what I did was I slowly built it up, like I did like some people might, the X39 if they're frail or very elderly. And so I just tried it for 2 hours, and then 3 hours, and I slowly built it up to where I could. Um, it's also a great patch to fight against the angry C cells. It's also great to help with that tremors, etc. disease, and also with the developmental issues that we'll see in some of the children, the repetitive behaviors, the inability to communicate. And silent nights increases testosterone, which is just fascinating in itself. And just as a side note on testosterone, did you know in World War II, the men, their testosterone levels were 2,500? That was normal. And today, doctors will tell men if their testosterone is over 900, it's too much and it will hurt them. Now, let's just all pause and think about that for a second. So, okay, Alavita. Um, Now, Alavita, because I did not want fine lines and wrinkles, I stocked up. When I first started, I purchased the highest level kit possible, the premium, and I prayed about it. And the Lord's like, you get whatever you want. So I was like, yay. And so I got quite a few of the Alavita because of the fine lines and wrinkles. I won't go out without a fight. And so, and it's working. People say that I get accused of getting Botox and stuff, and I do not. So let's see. Did you have a question, Jean? Yeah. So if you unmute, so I'll just keep talking. Um, you know what? You can you can text me your question if you can't unmute, but when you unmute, let me know, or just, text me. We have time. Okay, so Alavita, it activates your pineal gland. So when I wear it when I go to bed, I put it right here. It decalcifies your pineal gland, which is very important. Um, It helps with um, reproductive functions, the hormones, decreases calcium deposits, stimulates your frontal lobes, your feel good stuff, helps your memory and problem solving. And of course, skin. I mean, it's main thing we hear about skin, which by the way, we sell eye creams and day lotions, night lotions. I didn't buy that stuff for months. And I kept having brand partners say, Lynn, have you tried it? He goes, no, I haven't. And they're like, oh, my face, it's softer, the skin's plumper. I mean, so I got it and they were right. So, side note. So anything with the face, fine lines, wrinkles, aging spots, sun damage, any of that. It helps decrease the angry cells, the angry C cells, decreases inflammation, decreases anxiety, helps with that tremors condition, kidneys. If so, sunburn is a lack of actually nutrients that we need in our body. And so it will provide whatever's lacking so that you won't get sunburns. Helps with sleep, anything with organs, hair and nails, and pain. I haven't tried the Alavita for pain. Well, I did. Last night, whenever I was having trouble, I took the Alavita off my face and I stuck it on my hip, and it actually did help. Which, speaking of too, what I did was, so I found because I run outside all the time in the sun, I get this just damage, and so I had some sun damage here. I stuck the Alavita right there, and after 2 or 3 days, it was halfway gone, and it just keeps going down. So I'm planning on doing that with my face, all the sun damage I've ever seen. And I won't go around like this. I'll wear it at night. I'll do one at a time. But we'll watch that happen. And then AccuLife, that is a patch for our pets. And it's actually Ice Wave. The FDA made them call it something different. And we all use our own patches on our pets because it doesn't matter. But the AccuLife does have stronger sticky to stick to like the fur. Okay, so those are all things patch that I want to share with you tonight. And so I'm going to go on and give updates on the X20 unless someone has a question. Karen, did you?
Yeah, I don't know how to put my hand up. I've looked all
Okay, if you
over.
guys wave, I can see.
What, so the AccuLife is for pets for pain. Is that right? It's
Yes,
not for anything else. So we can still do the X39 and the other patches after we wear and put them on the dog. But
yes,
that's the pain patch for a dog. Okay, I
yes.
didn't realize that. And
It is
then,
the same, Karen. It's Ice Wave. They just had to
okay,
call it something different because the
okay,
FDA said they did. Yeah.
okay. And then where do you put your silent night at?
So with my Silent Night, I like it here.
Uh-huh.
Now, and I'll stack patches. Some
Okay.
people like it here.
Okay.
So those seem to be the two most popular.
Okay. So
Some
you
people might
put
put it behind their ear.
put your Alavita here and then stack a Silent Night on top of it. And
Yes,
these
until
still
I just
work.
it still works, yes. Until I discovered the Alavita and the sunspots. So now the Alavita is moving around my face.
Okay. I'm doing that too. And I ditto the moisturizers, the day and night. Oh my goodness.
I know.
We're
I know.
talking a Mary Kay director here for many years, and I put that on, and I am telling you guys, get it. It's just so yummy.
Yes. And it's so inexpensive. So
Uh-huh. Yeah.
here's the way to get that. When you're a brand, there's many benefits to being a brand partner. And I will always train you guys. It's a win-win for our customers and us to enroll everybody as a brand partner because it saves them money and it's good for us. And once you're a brand partner, you can go and only brand partners have access to a section called maintenance kits. And there can be real deals in there and they can change. And in general, maintenance kits are like bulk purchases, but this is how I discovered when I decided, I had so many people saying to try it. I went in the maintenance kit, and I'm going to make up prices because I don't know them off the top of my head, but normally like the lotions might be $70, and then our Alavita patches, if you buy one of the other patches, our X39 and X49, they're always $99.95 if you're not buying retail, which friends don't let their friends buy retail because that's ridiculous. But and all the other patches are $70 for one sleeve, $60 each for two sleeve, $50 each for three sleeves. Well, you can get the Alavita patches and the day lotion, the night lotion for like $150. And normally that would be like what, $250? I mean, it's crazy and expensive, and it lasts a long time. Those things are huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you, Karen. Did you have another question or? Okay, thank you. Okay, and I saw somebody else's hand. Evelyn.
And the sun's in my face.
There you go.
Lynn,
It looks great. I can hear you.
I normally wear a hat. The sun comes in that window this time of day in my kitchen. Can I ask the bad question that probably nobody's supposed to ask?
Yes.
You cut one in half if you want to stick it on a couple of places.
Okay, so that's a great question. When you cut them in half, you ruin them. And I'll tell you why. Inside each patch in the white section, there is a lattice-shaped frequency, and it's composed of organic crystals and salts and sugars. Each of the 10 patches have a different lattice-shaped structure, which communicates a different frequency signal in our body that tells it what to do. That list I just mentioned. So when you cut the patch in half, you break the pattern, and they won't work at all. So it's a great question, though. I get asked that a lot.
My stacking question is, are you stacking them up like poker chips or are you spreading them out?
Pancakes. I cut poker chips are great too, but yeah, I stack them like pancakes, one on top of the other. Now, that's because so far when I've had a pain, it's like one spot. But if I had a pain that was bigger, I would just put them all over that pain. That's my goal, is to cover that pain.
Okay, so they don't have to be stacked,
No.
but if they still work.
Yes.
Should the X39 be the one next to the skin?
It doesn't matter because our patches work within 3 inches of body heat. And so a patch can be up in the air and still work, which is why a few tidbits here. It'll work through a cast. People are having their bones grow back faster. These are testimonies. It'll work through a leather wallet. There was a man who his wife wanted him to wear it, the patches, and he poo-pooed him, threw it in his wallet, thick leather wallet. A few days later, he said, I don't know what's going on, but this hip pain I've had for 30 years is gone. So, I mean, they work through clothing.
Okay.
So, yeah. And that's why you can stack them any combination, any order, it doesn't matter. They activate within 3 inches of your body. You can wear them on your clothing. You can wear them. I have people who have loved ones in nursing homes, so maybe put them underneath the sheets, or children, they'll put them on their back, on their clothing, so they can't feel it or play with it. So you can get creative. Great question.
So if you put it on something else and put it on, does the adhesive side have to be the one that's closest to your skin, or does it matter if it's upside down?
Matter. It doesn't matter. We have what's called a hat protocol for migraines on the liveyoungerproducts.com. We have a hat protocol where you literally wear a baseball hat and it shows the patches. Tons of wonderful, wonderful testimonies on that. And in that case, the sticky is in the hat and not on the hair, and they still work. So it doesn't matter, up or down, it does not matter.
So the circle is not positional.
That's right.
Anyway, near the body.
That's
okay.
Right. It's not.
I thought it, that the only way it worked was kind of like a cone going down into the body from the top.
Everybody does, yes. And these are great questions because that is a logical thought, but No, the frequency still works whether the patch is up or down.
So you could put it on the outside of your shoe and it would still work.
That's right.
Leather.
Good. Yeah.
What does it work through plastic and stuff like that, or only
through-
fabric and leather?
Works through anything that you have, anything within 3 inches of the body, because it's activated by our body heat. And our body heat is actually the light in our body. You can see that on thermographies and all kinds of medical tests. So that's what activates it. You know, we were meant to be able to do this ourselves.
Well, that brings up a question. As a hands-on healer, when I would be working on people and you know, somebody told me that it was a psychic, that I had tremendous light coming out of my hands, but I know what would happen is the palms of my hands would actually ache with this light coming out so much it would actually make the palms of my hands ache. Now, I haven't done any hands-on healing in years because I'm not a practitioner anymore, but
you could feel it.
wondering if, like, for energy or something, would it be, you'd have to put it on with something around your hand? Would it be good to put them on any one of the patches on the palms of the hands or on the back of the hand? Would it work better places?
You could if you had issues there. And I've also recommended children and babies, and you know, people can hold patches and hold hands during procedures, and so you can literally put the patches absolutely anywhere. So I purchased my patches from former CIA Navy SEAL Michael Jaco, and he also feels energy. And when he held the patches, he could feel the energy in them. So many people are sensitive to that, you know, in a good way, because there's no drugs, there's no chemicals in the patches. It's a light and frequency technology. That's why I call it the wearable med bed, for people who are familiar with that, because that's exactly what it is. So great questions. Okay, so I'm going to finish the couple things I want to cover, unless there's more questions, because I love you guys' questions. You know, I know if one person asks a million more are wondering. Okay, so raise your hand or shout out if you have more. X20 machine, let me give you updates. People have the X20 machine now. They've started rolling them out based upon performance in the company, and they'll work their way down. And by the convention, the end of October, people who attend convention, they can buy it if they go there in person, and then they'll be available to the public. So it's looking like in November. There's a 2-year payment plan that will be available, financial plan. Looks like that will be available in November. And, you know, people are getting the results of people who are trying them. We're starting to get testimonies now on that. And it's, I mean, it's amazing stuff. We have people who increased energy, decreased anxiety. It works 100% on 100% of the people, and it works within, on average, 18 seconds. The most it's been is 2.5 minutes. And there are people who've had illnesses that were fatal who do not now, and these are their testimonies. So it's an amazing, amazing. And there's the inventor, God told the inventor about a material to create a metal, never before on planet Earth. And it's now in the periodics elements tables, periodic element table. It's there because it's a brand new metal, never before on the earth. And that's what's in the machine. That's what any water, you can throw any water in there. That's what the water goes over. So it's rolling out, and it's gonna, the machine is recommended for up to 6 or so people. So I know families are getting together to buy it. Neighborhoods, practitioners will be selling it. So, one thing that I wanted to highlight quickly in our time left, the premium package. So we have all kinds of options as brand partners in LifeWave. And again, that's the most cost-effective way for anyone to join. They get more bang for the buck and access to those maintenance kits, so they get continued bang for the buck. The premium package, in the end, you save, and I did a calculation. In the end, with the premium package, so you can have in the premium package 20 X39 or X49 sleeves or 40 of all the other sleeves. So it's our biggest package. And price wise, if you were to get that, each X39 sleeve, for example, is normally $99.95. They're $57.30 by the time you buy this package. And the reason why is several. First of all, the sleeve said, so there's a decrease in the cost of the sleeve. You're active as a brand partner for 3 months. So you don't have to buy patches for 3 months because we're required to stay as a brand partner to buy a certain amount, 1 or 2 sleeves a month, depending upon your level. And so you don't have to do that for a couple months. So that saves you $200 because of that. And then you save on your shipping. So when you add all that together, it's a huge savings. It's 43% off if people can budget that. And so the main reasons for that are the savings. People who are, preppers and like to have extra handy. It helps samples. So for those of you wanting to grow your business, it gives you extra to share. When you have customers who are excited to start, because when people, they'll hear your testimonies and what's happening and what the patches do, and they're very excited to start. And although, they can be shipped FedEx and everything still, so you can give them a sleeve of your patches and say, okay, well, when they arrive, we'll just swap out. And so that keeps the excitement going. And for those of you sharing and selling in your business, these are tax deductible. And it's really super easy to set up your own business. I mean, it's like super easy. And each state's a bit different, but you just go to your Missouri State Department, or the state you're in, go to the State Department website and just keyword search form to start a business. And they'll give you a form, and you don't need an attorney. I mean, the attorneys will say you need them, but you don't. Just fill out the form, and then you pay them a certain amount of money, $50, $100, and you got a business. And then they're tax write-offs. So I wanted to highlight that because most people miss the opportunity of how much money you're really actually saving with the premium. And then protect your patches. So I mentioned if they're within 3 inches of body heat, they'll activate. So if you're traveling, if you carry them in your purse, just know that they'll activate. And there's so I'm gonna hold this up and see, and I'm going to read from it too. So there's an organization, and I think they're probably affiliated with LifeWave, but the website is my dash site, SITE dash, and it's kind of weird, so just prepare, 103309 dash 109901, and then a period, the word square, a period, site, SITE, / the letter S as in Sam, / shop. So I'm going to hold it up here so that you can you guys see that? Can I have a thumb or two? Okay. So I'm going to hold it up here so that you can see it if you want to write that down. I think it's like $10 or $15. It's the best money you'll spend because you don't want to take, and what it does is it separates each sleeve, it separates each patch by name. So you can put your Eon in one little slot in there, and you can put your X39 in another little slot. And so it names them. And so it's kind of organized because I'll carry them in my backpack. It's another reason to have extra patches, because if you see a person in pain, slap a patch on them if they'll let you, or animals. So you can be ready for that. And then last but not least, I wanted to show you something really quick, and that is I want to take you to our healthiswealth.biz, and I want to show you some forms that will really help your business. So this is the homepage when you get there, and I've taken you guys here the first 2 or 3 shows we did about your basic training, but I want you to scroll down and go to business tools. And I want all of you to look at this and see what resonates with you for your business. Here, for example, this power of the premium, that explains what a cost savings, for example, the premium actually is. The health tracker, I recommend. So for any time you have a new customer, I recommend that you email them this welcome letter. And it's something that you can download and put in an email from yourself. Or if your customers are more digital minded, then you can give them, and if you are, then you can fill in the PDF. And it's a letter we like to send to all of our new customers so they know next steps. And with that, we like to attach this health tracker form. And you can either attach a digital one if you know your customer likes to do things digitally, or you can attach a paper form. But that helps people monitor all the benefits that they're getting from the patches. And then you can see the other tools there too. But I just wanted to point out that is something that I think everyone would enjoy. So for time's sake, it's time to go, but I will tell you this. I will take like 2 minutes and see if you have any questions, like final questions real quick. I love seeing your beautiful faces. I just have to say this. So like on my end, and this is part of what I want to do this too, is community. I know each of you, and I want you guys through these meetings to get familiar with each other's faces and who you are, and just little tidbits of each of you. Like I look at Evelyn. Did you guys know she shook President Nixon's hand? I mean, like wow. I mean, what an interesting little tidbit, and and I just that energy hand. And each of you have these fascinating, lovely, we have these amazing conversations. And that to me is part of the life we've experienced. We start out because there's something with our mental or physical health that we want to get a handle on, and that's wonderful. And then we start discovering that it's so much fun to share. And the next thing we know, we have like income coming in. It's like, what's happening? So then we start, thinking about that more. And then we meet each other more and more and develop relationships, and we have community. And that is priceless too. So thank you each for coming. I just love seeing your faces. I love the community that we have. And so I'm going to, in the recording, I'm going to hit that.